Hello, my name is Rico Ducatel, and I am in experimental filmmaking with Professor JP for January 2017. This class has been a really great class for me. I've learned a lot, just kind of looking back and reflecting, but I think there was just a few things that I walked in expecting, and there's many more things that I actually walked away with learning. And so I just kind of want to touch on those things for my mastery journal. First, when I walked into class, according maybe to the course description, also because of the name experimental filmmaking, I took it at face value. I expected that, A, we're going to be doing experimental, non traditional ways of filmmaking, really the concepts behind it. So I was really thinking that I was going to learn, outside of a traditional, maybe. Um, Film, that you would see in a movie theater in the process that's created, or outside of a TV show medium, that we're going to be learning other types of filmmaking and really like what goes into it. So I took that experimental part and I took that literal. And I think the second thing that I had expectations for is for filmmaking that many classes before this we've been discussing filmmaking, script writing, directing, and the different roles and the different parts that go into filmmaking. But there were only a selected number of times where we actually got a camera, we went out and shot film and footage, and we got that experience part of filmmaking. So I knew that this class was going to give us some kind of hands-on experience with the camera, and we're going to be out in the field. And so those were my expectations walking in. But I can say that, after this class, after having met having met my professor and having gone through all our group projects and worked with our classroom together, what I actually learned differed in many ways from my expectations. So I want to say, A, that experimental type of filmmaking, I didn't know that there were so many different types of film that can be made, whether it's more abstract, whether it's documentary, you know, um, whether it's transmedia. I think that there's so many different ways and there's so many different mediums in order to tell a story. And so that experimental part, really went in deep in letting us know that there's so many options in telling a story. And even the mediums in which we tell it, whether it's online, whether it's on TV, um, where are we watching these things, and also how are we filming these things? Are we filming with a camera? Are we filming with a phone? How exactly are we making this content? And so I think that's what something I walked away with. Another thing was I truly got some experience during this whole entire process into documentary filmmaking. It's one aspect of making film, but just within documentaries itself, there's so many different types of docs out there. And so, having made a doc for the month of January 2017, it was really awesome. It was really important to me because it really touched or tapped into something that I was passionate about, which was a little bit of art mixed maybe with a little bit of advocacy on a matter that I thought was very important. The third thing that I ended up learning that kind of differed from my expectations was, the meaning behind the film. Who ultimately gives the meaning behind the film. Before this class, I thought it was a director or it was the writer who attributed meaning to the film or to the script, and that was just the meaning. But I later found out through different classes and different discussions that there's multiple meanings. There's a meaning that the writer intends. There's a different meaning that the director shoots. There's a meaning that the actors portray, and then there's a meaning that the audience walk away with. An audience takeaway. So I think on different levels, there's different meanings to your film, to your story, and I think We have to be mindful of it, whether we're a writer, or a director, or an actor, but we all walk away with different meanings. And the last thing we that I learned and I walked away with was the technical side of filmmaking. You know, having a desire to be a director, I've only been either a camera operator or someone directing. But this class gave me the opportunity to see the wide varieties and positions that go into directing, a feature length or a thesis film, whether that's grip, electric, best boy, art design, production design, lighting, all these kind of elements that go into making a film, which is very important. I learned, and so it really gave me an appreciation for everyone that plays that role, and it also gave me experience in those roles. Should in the future, I'm not playing a director, I have other things or other skill sets that I can use. And so I think those four things were what I learned throughout this class. It was an awesome experience. I definitely my knowledge and experience at Full Sail has I believe doubled in this class, truthfully. And I'm so grateful for my professor, and I'm so grateful for my classmates. And I hope next month is I learn just as much. Thank you.